Hey, it's Pete Checkley for Sample Library Review, and today I'm checking out Hang Drum from Sonixinema. The hang drum is a mystical percussion instrument full of mystique and character. Boutique developer Sonixinema continue their trend of making libraries that combine natural timbres and their own brand of modern cinematic sound design. With an expert performance from master percussionist Mark Constantine, this is one instrument that any modern score composer may want to add to their roster. Hang Drum by Sonixinema downloads at 3.88 GB. It features 10 articulations and sound design snapshots. There are 4 mic positions and it runs on the free contact player 5.8.1 or better and is also NKS compatible. So before we jump in and hear the sounds of the Hang Drum by Sonixinema, there's a couple of points of note. So on the left, you can see the 10 articulations. There's single hits, muted hits, flams, harmonics, tremolo, knuckle raps, pitch bends, spinning hang, side and shoulder. And as I slide down, you can see there are 6 different NKI files per articulation, and these are the sound design files. So there are 60 sound design instruments and then our 10 main articulations. And then on the keyboard underneath the GUI you have all the blue playable notes, and then the red note is to start the sequencer. So I'll play that in the demo and you can hear a sequence start and a really basic pattern at the moment. So without further ado, let's jump in. So that's a really quick run through of the main articulations. Now you have the standard basic articulations, single hits, muted, flams, and then you have the more advanced and extended articulations. Now I absolutely love the knuckle raps. And the pitch bends have just a wonderful sort of timbre about them. I love the really sort of bassy, weighty ones at the top. And then possibly my favourite is the spinning hang. Just sounds completely out of this world, really. So the 10 main articulations, they sound great, and the dynamic layers really come through when you're playing it. So the single hits, and I absolutely love the sort of percussive thud, as if you're actually hitting the hang drum. Sorry, hitting. I don't know, it's just really satisfying when you're playing your controller and you could just almost like feel that impact. So first impressions, absolutely fantastic. So let's move on and listen to some of the sound design elements. The first thing that grabbed me instantly when I played through the sound design snapshots is the quality of sound design is absolutely great. The effects are brilliant, and instantly you could use these in your productions. So I've loaded up the side articulation and the patch called Distant Tones, and that could be straight out of a horror movie or a crime score. And if I put the sequencer on, you get these absolutely brilliant patterns. Now, the sequencer has been used in different sound design snapshots. So some of them are just standard hit, other ones uses a sequencer. And personally, this is where I feel this instrument really shines. So yes, it's a hang drum. It is expertly played and sampled, and with the 10 articulations, it's a fantastic instrument. But the sound design element to go with it really turns this from a really good instrument into a great instrument. And we're going to go through the reasons why by looking at the GUI and hearing some more examples. Looking at the GUI looks really, really classy. It just is very, very pleasing. And there are so many controls for this instrument. I just think it's incredibly clear and easy to use. So very, very quickly, just going through the front page, the proximity is a very quick mic mix. So all the way down, it's a far mix. I can really hear that reverberation and sort of distance. And then if I go all the way up, it's a close mix. So it still has all the resonance, but it's you can hear it's a bit of a drier sound. In fact, I'm just going to check, is there reverb on? So there is reverb, so that's a close mix. That's a far mix, so you can hear that. I'm going to pop the reverb back on, and if we just go back to the detune, so if I go all the way up, it's taken up quite far. So that's standard pitching at 0, and then get some really big bass resonances. Okay, so it's gone down 36 semitones. So yeah, the range is absolutely great. So if you're not too happy with the playable range, you can detune. And then you have the expression. Which is your volume. And then different velocities. Now you can set everything, if you turn the velocity off, to have the same velocity, or if you leave it on, then it will change velocity depending how you play. Okay, so we have gloss. That's added a lot of resonance. The blur, sort of gone a bit more sort of middly bassy. And then the stereo width. Oh, it's on stereo. Yeah, you can change that. It's by sliding it around. And then you can change the sequencer key switch. So it's assigned to F by default. So if you really want it on G, it moves around. So that's those really, really basic controls. Now, if I go into the mic mixer, you can see, have a close mic. Whoops, I'm going to say the stereo level and the mid mic and far mic. And then again, stereo width, stereo mono controls. You can have a really quick proximity if you'd like to just adjust everything like that, which is really straightforward. And then the RAM is really interesting. So depending whether you have it on or off, you can see the memory's changing. It will purge any unused samples, so it can have a much lighter footprint. But this instrument does have a light footprint anyway. So that is the sort of left-hand side. I've left the sequencer out for a good reason, so I'm going to talk about that in more depth. Now, the right-hand side of the GUI is the envelope and effects control. So you have the amp, filter and pitch, and the ADSR controls for all of those. So really straightforward if you want a long attack. So you can soften all the sounds. Also, you can change the decay. And the sustain and the release. Oops. And I'll just turn the decay off completely. There you go. So, also you can play around with all of those, and you can do the same for the pitch. I'm just playing around there. Okay, let's reload the instrument. Okay, so yeah, you can play around with all those different elements. Okay. Sorry, I was getting a bit carried away. And then the effects, yep, so you have different reverbs, so plenty to choose from. You have a tape. Different tape saturation. Obviously your low pass and high pass filters, degrade, let's play a bit lower. Okay, yep, I'd say just trying to use it quite subtly, that effect. And then different delays. So if I just crank it up. Sync it to the door tempo. And change the rhythmic denomination. There we go. Delay feedback. Sounds very cool. And then you can add chorus. I'll put a low pass on there, bring the frequency down. And of course, if you want to have that controllable by any MIDI CC, you can assign that to your whatever device you're using. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So lots of different effects you can use and you can tweak and play around. But this leads me on to, like I say, what I believe turns this into an absolutely brilliant instrument, and it is the sequencer. Sonixinema have done something ace with the sequencer. Yes, I use the word ace. I absolutely love this thing, and the reason is they've made it really, really simple, but put some really, really cool features in. So the sequencer you just toggle by turning it on and play a key. And it'll play a pattern. And I said at the start it'll be a simple pattern because all these articulations load with something pretty basic put in there. There are loads of presets, so you can just click on there and load a preset. However, it's so much more fun making your own and saving them. Well, it's more fun when you're learning the instrument, but the presets that come with it, they're great jumping off points and really show what the sequencer can do. Just going through really, really quickly. So you have all the global controls down the bottom. You can change the rhythmical denomination. So quarter notes, we could go for a 8th note triplet. And let's say 32 notes. Let's go a bit crazy. Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing that in real life, but there we go. And you can change the direction of the arpeggio. So as a chord, it can be random up and down. So if I hold down a triad, and then I'm just gonna make it a bit quicker, and let's go for, well, not quicker, but in 16ths. Yeah. So you can hear the subtle changes there. Now, the global controls here, we have the length, so you can change the length of each note. So incredibly short. It's really long. And you can change the strength, so the velocity. So quite loud. And the key arpeggio. And the swing. And then if you want to adjust individual instruments, in fact, I'm just going to use the reset button. You can toggle the mode, and you can just grab one of the notes, make it louder or quieter, and change the length. And then underneath, you can go 24 semitones higher or 24 semitones lower than the note you're playing. So you can create some really cool patterns. So I'm just going to quickly draw in just a nice sort of safe pattern. Let's go. Okay, so something really quick. You can randomize everything. Or the velocities, I should say. You can change direction. So it's going back and forth now. Or you could have, you can change the frequency. So one step to the left or right. And if you're creating polyrhythms, all those sort of performance pieces where it shifts every repetition, that's really easy to do. So nice and straightforward, and of course you can reset it if you need to. So yeah, and then when you're done, you can click save, and just by dragging the top bar, you can change how many notes is in the sequence. So if you're working in awkward time signatures, it works really well. Go up to 32, or go down just to 1. Which probably wouldn't really use too much. And of course, if you want one to be completely silent. You can. Okay, I'll do the swing on quite high, that's why. So you can make really cool little patterns that can form like part of the underscore. So yeah, works really well. Now if I go to is it warp space, I think. You get some really inspiring patterns which are already there, and then just mess around with them really. So the sound design aspect is massively enhanced by this sequencer, and of course, as I said before, you can just save and recall any cool patterns you made, or just use the presets. Absolutely love what Sonixinema have done with the sequencer. So that brings me to the end of my first look of Hang Drum by Sonixinema. Now, as I've woven through this video, I am full of praise for this library. So you get two, it's almost like having two libraries in one. The first element is you have a deeply sampled, expertly performed and just beautifully captured hang drum. It's got 10 articulations, has all the extended articulations, and it just feels like you're playing it. When you hit your MIDI controller, well not hit, but you know, you press the keys, you have that percussive thud. It's just a joy to play. So already from those 10 articulations you can get loads of tonal variants and different sounds, and I'd be really satisfied with that. Then you have the sound design element, and the sound design is just superb. The effect quality is brilliant, impulse responses are great, and the controls are brilliant, even just from the envelope controls where you can manipulate the sound, the different mic positions, and then the effects themselves. I love the fact there is tape there, chorus, delay, everything you could possibly need to create these imaginative sounds. And then you have the sequencer, and the sequencer for me, it's just really elevates this instrument to a new dimension. So I write a lot of drama, a lot of crime, and you can create these really quick and easy foundations for your pieces, literally just by holding down one key and dialing in a really cool sequencer. Or you can just mess around with effects for as long as you want to, you get something really cool. And it's just got so many options. So for me, fantastic instrument. It's not just for people who write crime or drama. The hang drum lends itself to meditation or ambient music, but you could use this any way your imagination takes you. Thank you so much for checking out our first look of Hang Drum by Sonixinema. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought was great about the instrument, how would you use it in your workflow, and what styles you'd use it for. Once you've done that, check out our other videos on YouTube and also over at samplelibraryreview.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Take care and have a great day.